All right, let's discuss the Lakers game last night. The Lakers lose to the Bucks 105 to 101. The game went down to the wire. Uh, Watching the end of the game, I thought the Lakers should have probably won this game. They had a chance, a legitimate chance to win it. I think they kind of fumbled it at the end, and there's some stupid things that happen that are likely responsible for this loss. First of all, calling it down the line. The Bucks are not a good team. The Bucks are like 5 games below 500. If not, they might be worse. I don't know. I haven't looked at their record in a minute. And part of that is because Giannis hasn't been playing all the games, and there's a rash of injuries and all those things, but they're still not a good team. The Lakers are like, what are they, like 10 games above 500 or something? Like, I get it. They've got injuries too, and they've got a great record based on injuries. So we're talking about teams that aren't really all that different. The only difference is the Bucks have lost their best player to injury. Meanwhile, the Lakers, they've had their secondary best players out for stretches of the season. So Austin Reeves recently, and then LeBron before that. So a little bit different in that respect. But anyways, the Bucks. I mean, I don't understand. This game is so strange. So Luka's defense, and this is something I've talked about on my channel for a long time. His fundamental defense is weak. His positioning, where he is, how he defends his position, it's just not good. He doesn't move his feet well laterally. It doesn't matter if he's Luka Ozempic, the Ozempic version of him, or if he's the chubby version of him. The fundamental defense lateral movement has never been good. His anticipation defensively is not great. And he's reckless. He leaves his feet often. He jumps and he gets baited. And that reared its ugly head yesterday. I want to say, a couple of late third quarter fouls that gave him 5, right? Which limited how much game time he actually had. And then he ended up fouling out. And he's pissed, and the team's pissed, and everybody's pissed, saying, why the refs been, foul calls and all this. It's like, what the hell, man? This guy foul baits everybody. Nobody has that same energy when it's for him, but they have that same energy when it's against him. Regardless, that puts everything on LeBron, who is old and had already logged in a ton of minutes, and he was trying to run the offense. It's the LeBron show. It's not really all that different than what Luka does. It's really not. It's LeBron-centric, right? He's going to dictate where the ball goes. He's going to decide who he passes to and what the offensive plays are going to be. And it's not that different than what Luka does. Maybe Luka does a little bit more of the lobs, maybe more often. But I've seen LeBron throw lobs too. So it's not all that different. It's just LeBron is not the offensive threat that Luka is. That's really the only difference. Like, Luka's, I don't know, a little more capable because of his youth offensively, right? So similar in a sense, and not similar. LeBron gets cooked at the end of the game on a couple of consecutive possessions. He gets blocked by Giannis, right? And that's because LeBron doesn't dunk like he used to. He's not as fast and explosive as he used to be. He can't finish at the rim like he used to. That's nobody's fault but LeBron. You aren't the player you used to be. You're old. Yes, you are old. But that's what the Lakers decided to go with. All right, so that was JJ's decision. And JJ has already said that he doesn't call the shots sometimes. It's just LeBron making those decisions. So then it's on LeBron. Whatever. It's on JJ. It's on LeBron. Whatever. They come back. The answer after whatever, they decide they're going to go with LeBron again to run the play. He decides to get to the rim, and he gets stripped by Giannis. Again, this was a time that maybe in previous years LeBron makes that play. Maybe he does. But he's older, he's slower, he's not as capable, he can't finish at the rim like he used to. So everything takes more time to develop. It gives a guy like Giannis the opportunity to make the play. He maybe 5 years ago wasn't able to do this, get away with it. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, this is nobody's fault but the fact that the Bucks were a below average team, and the Lakers, who we have continued to identify their problems, and we can clearly see the deficiencies, they kind of played themselves. They decided that these were the plays we were going to go with, and they lost. Luka could not stay in the game because of his poor defensive fundamentals. Whose fault is it? You got people trying to blame DeAndre Ayton for this game. Look, he's not a very productive player sometimes. I mean, ever since LeBron came back, he's been back since what, mid-November. DeAndre Ayton hasn't been the same player because it's a different dynamic. It's not the same when it was Luka and Austin Reeves. Now it's Luka and LeBron. The dynamic is different. DeAndre Ayton is not the same player, clearly, when LeBron is on the floor. They don't have that chemistry. They're not on the same page, or, they're not seeing the game offensively the same way. For whatever reason, okay? That's for the coaching staff to deal with, putting the best players with the best lineups and all those things. And, of course, everything changes when Luka's not in the game because of the foul trouble. But they went with LeBron to orchestrate, and maybe that was the best option. Maybe they didn't have options. You don't have Austin Reeves. Luka's fouled out. Who's going to do it? Marcus Smart? Is he going to run the offense? Vando? They went with this. Maybe LeBron should have passed. I have no idea. But this was a game they should have had. LeBron with getting blocked by Giannis and then getting picked by Giannis. Because Giannis is a better player. Giannis is an All-NBA defender. Giannis has youth on his side. It's not the old LeBron. It's the old LeBron. You get what I'm saying? Anyways, this is a game the Lakers should have had. They should have been ahead of these guys. The Bucks aren't good. Things are basically happening the way we've kind of been seeing them and calling them. I expect more games to be like this. Luka looks a little bit slower than he did in the first part of the year. I don't know. He's starting to get the back pain. You see the heat pad again. He's looking a little heavier. I don't know. Maybe got to get the Ozempic back in there. I have no idea. But this is a game they should have had. The Lakers should have won it. And then you look at the score. It's the Lakers running out of offense, per usual. Milwaukee didn't score a ton of points. I guess we could say maybe the Lakers played some decent defense, right? But not getting enough points. But I'm not going to sit here and blame, I'm not going to blame Vando, and I'm not going to sit here and blame Gabe Vincent. These guys have very limited roles on this team. I'm not blaming Maxi Kleber or Marcus Smart. I'm putting the blame on the two big players of this team and their coach. So Luka gets blame, LeBron gets blame, and JJ gets blame. Who else is supposed to get blame? How are you get? DeAndre makes like $8 million a year, and the offense doesn't go through him. And clearly they lost this game because they couldn't score points. Why would anybody blame him? 2 games ago, everybody was talking about how amazing LeBron is, withstanding the hands of time, blah, blah, blah. Well, here we are with a crappy ending to the game. Now he's old again. Good for you.